Do this thing we call, I know, we started, hi, I'm Multiplex. Just made a video, we know how life goes, right? So we gotta post this. Let me tag it and...
Go on, do your thing.
Yeah, man. You think about what you want to ask me.
I'm just gonna start from the beginning.
Oh, you're gonna start from the beginning.
No, I want to start with you for the beginning.
From the beginning?
Yeah.
There's
So where did it start for you? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in, well, I was born in Leiden. You know what? I just deleted that
Leiden?
video.
Oh, you deleted it?
Yeah, I was born in Leiden.
Yeah, that's just up the road from me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not far from here.
Yeah.
And then my parents moved to Uden.
Uden?
It's in Brabant.
Right, okay.
And then when I was like 10 years old, we moved again from there.
Yeah.
Because that was no fun there. Mm. And then we moved to Zeist in Utrecht.
Right.
And that's where kind of my journey started with music and stuff like that.
So how old were you when you first discovered?
Actually through school, and I was always listening, like in Uden already. I had this friend, older guy that I knew through my father because they worked together in school or something. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes my dad worked there after school, mm-hmm. and then I met this guy and he was making radio.
Right.
Back in the days with these old like towers with radio, like with antennas and stuff. I was like, wow, this is fucking cool.
So you had a radio station?
Yeah, radio station, but like illegal, you know, in his room. Yeah. But like professional, like whole setups and like making radio and tapes and stuff and like multiple tape decks, and like that's the first time when I did a mix and like you know helped him with doing some radio show, and he gave me tapes to listen to at home. Right. So that was my first like collection of tape decks, and I was like, that was where the first bits of jungle or the first bits of breakbeats came from, Prodigy, stuff like that, DJ SS, and like, you know, like stuff like that. And it was like,
mentioned a lot, yeah.
And then that was kind of where my ears started to get used to it. Yeah. And then when I started living in Zeist, I met people that had kind of the same ears, so we got like a little bit of a. And then I was the one to bring the music in. You know? I was like, oh, look at this, listen to this, and they were like, wow, what the fuck's this? So that changed the whole demographic for me coming into a new city, because I was bullied in the other one. So I was like, for some kids, I was the cool kid now. You know,
because you moved, so you got
I moved, so I
friends.
could, new friends, I knew new life, and it was hard in the beginning, but. I ended up with the punkers, with the skaters, with with that group, and it was punk for a while, metal, rock, and then jungle.
And then jungle come in.
Jungle came in when I ended up playing with my little punk band. Well, like punk band, just guys, kids getting together in a garage, playing punk. I was the singer, and playing punk, rock, trying to make music, and we ended up playing in a squad party in Zeist. You had like the old, what is it, NTO or TNO turret. It's like where they tested animals back in the days.
Oh right, okay.
And that got squatted. So they had all these warehouses and all these like tunnel kind of buildings and hangars. Yeah. And then we played there. And then after we were walking back.
What year is this?
This is like, I was 12.
Right, okay. Oh wow. So you started early?
Yeah, man.
Right, and how old are you now?
37.
37, okay, right.
37.
Okay. All right, back to TNO, yeah, go.
Yeah, so TNO days, and then we got stuck there, and jungle came out of this hangar, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I got stuck and danced there the whole night, asked for the mic, got said no, then took it to school, and then we went to Structure. This was in Utrecht, this was later.
So it's an event?
This was an event in the Tivoli, the old Tivoli, in Utrecht. And then we went with our friends to Structure, and that's where I met Pascal at Utrecht Massive. Yeah. And asked a chakra MC. Yeah. And asked him the microphone. And then he said, no, again, not here, but come to the Flame in Amersfoort. Right. So me practicing on the bike for months, just like, getting to know drum and bass, getting to know the style, and listening to mixes of Black Sun Empire. Right. stuff like that. Conquer Dawn, DJ SS, stuff like that. You know, like.
Who are the MCs that picked you?
I listen to what is it? Too Shy.
Right.
What was it? The Ragga Twins.
Yeah.
Shit. He just had I should know. I cannot not know his name.
No, that's okay.
Oh yeah, disclaimer, if anybody catches me on something that is not totally happened at that point in time, I'm given a joker because my memory is like, it's like the party you just been last week. What did you ate yesterday? Huh? So yeah, no lies, just a weird memory, but I know everything. No, but yeah, where was I? MCs. I'm trying to think. He just had a documentary done.
About Steve Hyper D?
There we go.
Yeah,
of course, I was like, Hyper D, in the mix is a Fantasia, stuff like that, you know. Yeah, so that's like where kind of the beginning, there's so much more to tell, but I've got super ADHD, so I get really into a story.
No, and then that's what we're here
there's a point where I'm like, squirrel.
Squirrel? Yeah. No, we're here, but we're sort of at the point when you were playing on the pirate radio station with that friend of yours who had his own pirate radio station.
Yeah, but that was like not jungle, that was just, that was radio.
Yeah, but then that's what led you into...
That's what led me into like being interested in mixing or in making music, listening to music, and then at home I started recording on my own. For my birthday I got this like stereo.
Yeah.
Because I had to pick a big birthday because I became 11, 12, you know, it's like 10 years I got a pocket knife, and then the bigger gifts came, so it's like, I want a stereo, you know, and then first I got one with 1, and then I had one with 2. Double deck, so I could start like recording stuff, and then like, you know, do a mix, man, and I was like, oh shit, on my own in my room, and invite my friends and be like, yo, listen to this, man. You know, so that was really fun. That's where it kind of started. Yeah.
So that's where the MCing started, or?
MCing started really.
You mentioned you went to a show and you asked him to MC.
And I was listening, first listening, you know, and then honing and like listening and like listening to these MCs, and you had this tune, AK 1200.
Yeah. What, the artist?
Junior's tune.
Yeah, okay.
You know Junior's tune?
I don't know the tune, no. I don't know off by heart, no.
We smoke the weed, until my eyes are bleed. I bleed. No?
No,
it's a legendary tune.
It probably is.
We can maybe cut in a bit and show them a little bit in the back, you know.
We'll put a link in the description, But no,
but those kind of
tunes.
Oh,
sorry, because I've done it was another episode of this.
No, but there's that's one of the tunes that really inspired me to like, this kind of sound, you know, and chanting and really flowing over the rhythm, and adding to the music and make it into some musical piece, and not just, you know, like Hyper D is fucking mental, but it's a lot of times really on top of like hip hop almost. You know what I mean? It's like, absolutely. And it's about, and for me it was really like I can be in the music and be part of the bigger picture, you know. And that was really what attracted me to that. And those tunes are really like the vocal becomes an instrument and becomes a part of the music.
Yes.
You know, like what happened at the gig at Stupid.
Right.
You know, when the girls started singing, there was moments when it was like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
It was all freestyle and it merged a bit, you know. And that's kind of moments that was what I experienced or saw or heard in tunes. Okay, that's what I want to mimic, you know. That's where the love of MCing came, and then I got the balls. So we went to Structure when I took the music to school. And all these friends of mine, they were like, okay, like-minded, skating in a skate park in Utrecht. And then we went to Tivoli, all too young, tried to get in. And then we all got in. And then I was like, okay, can I get on the mic? And he's like, not here.
That's right, That's where we were.
And then Pascal was like, but come to the Flame in Amersfoort.
That's where we were, Flame, brilliant. Well done.
So I was on my bike listening, and I was working at the pancake restaurant.
Right.
Then, and So this was like when I was like, 13, 14, something like this. And I got to know Tim and El Maria, Levi.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure, this is a long time ago, so I'm trying to not squabble it all up the timeline.
No, that's okay. But you got to know a group of people.
I got to know this group of people, and it might be over a year or 2 or 3, but the moment where I asked Chakra for the mic was when I was already listening and like practicing and really trying to be an MC.
Yeah.
Like little multi, and I had to make up my name, and it was Triplex MC.
Oh, I thought you said 3 blacks.
No, Triplex. Because I was working in this wood shop.
Yes.
I was working in the wood shop.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
They sold Multiplex and Triplex.
Yeah.
And I know that my speakers at home were made from Triplex,
Right.
My sound system.
Yeah.
That was my home JBL or something, like old school mute speakers.
Right,
and they were made of Triplex because it was like, it's multiple styles.
Yeah.
Multiple layers, so
Yeah.
I identified with that.
Right, okay.
And then,
identified with the speakers.
Yeah, and with the speakers, and then it was used for a lot of things of making, and it was multiple layers because I was already from the beginning, kind of singing a bit and rapping and doing also on reggae and punk, and I never really chose, and it was always a bit like all over the place with my styles.
Right.
So it was like Triplex, multiple styles. And then when I asked the mic, he was like, not here, come to the Flame. And I came to the Flame, wasn't even, I was underage for sure.
Right.
Because I couldn't get into the bar, and then I thought, quietly get into the bar. It was a Hell's Angels bar as well.
Right, okay.
So it was like,
well, I obviously
and then I got the mic,
Yeah.
and it was with Westrum and Elusive, and back old school people from
so what's
Utrecht Massive.
Drum and bass?
Drum and bass.
At a heavy metal bar?
Yeah. You got me stuck there, man. No one's holding the camera. So, this was a Hell's Angels bar.
Yeah.
And so I got on the mic there, and I just was excited, really wanted to show what I could do.
Right.
And after 10 minutes or so, they gave me my first glass of whiskey and a little cigar, and they were like, "Yeah, man, kind of welcome me to
and how old are you?
Apprenticeship." I was like 14 or something,
Okay.
and they didn't know.
So what, did you always have the beard and that? Did you always look old?
I was like, I was getting sideburns. I was really early with getting facial hair because I wanted that, so I started shaving really early.
To bring it out.
Yeah, but no, I came across maybe a little older than I was those days.
Right.
So yeah, man.
Obviously, we're getting something was working.
Yeah.
So that's where the multiplex.
Well, the triplex.
Well, you're still triplex then. So when?
Yeah, and then Culture Revolution started.
Right.
Because with my friends from the skate park and the people that we got to know there, there was El Maria, and he asked me, I don't know how, don't really know how anymore, but he asked me to come to his house to play on his finals that he had.
Yeah.
And then we did that, and we started with the three of us. We started Culture Evolution.
Right.
And that was this logo.
Oh wow, okay.
And we did parties in Shebe Bay in Utrecht.
Right, okay.
And this was like in 2004, 2005, like a long time ago. And might have even been 2003 when we started.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I have one poster still, but I lost all the other stuff. Maybe El Maria can comment on when Culture Evolution exactly started.
Right.
Let me know.
So that's 2004, 2005, okay.
Yeah, for sure 2005.
Right, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was the first really like experience with the crew, getting to hone my skills, like every 3 months we did a party, I think, or maybe even more frequently.
Right.
We had like, we were the first people to book Fanu.
Oh, okay.
To get Fanu over.
Shout out, Jana.
Boom, boom. Stuff like that. We had Red Eye over.
Oh, yeah.
Like we had some really cool names.
Was this before or after the stairs? Maybe I shouldn't talk about that, but yeah, red eyes. So we'll talk about it after. Yeah, go.
Yeah, he might even been called Big Eye, because I remember a night that was funny. I kind of don't know if, like, I don't know if he changed his name afterwards, but I think it was Big Eye before, and I just kept calling him Red Eye the whole night in the mix, and he might have changed his name. I don't know.
He changed his name from Red Eye to Big Eye?
No, other way around. I think.
From Big Eye to Red Eye?
I don't know, but
he was Big Eye when he played for you guys?
I think so.
Oh, okay, yeah. No.
Yeah, but I just know, very, very well remember that he's like, no, dude, it's Big Eye. I just kept calling him a different one. This is one of those memories where I'm like, the memories where you get called out as an MC, bro, it's the wrong name, but you realize you have been calling the different name the whole fucking set.
Oh shit.
And it's like,
told you at the beginning.
Yeah, but he overheard it, or maybe he shouted at me and I was too enthusiastic. I was just going, you know, like, I don't know, man.
You should always have a conversation.
But that was my first like adventures in experiencing crew and doing bookings and deciding okay what to get and listening to stuff and like who to book. And,
can I ask you something just real quick about that? Because you said that. I'm just curious because, you know, obviously I've worked with loads of MCs over the years. Do you feel like it's if you're working with a DJ you've never worked before, do you feel like you should really make sure that you go and check the name, or do you think the DJ should come to you and say, oh, by the way, my name is blah, blah?
Both ways, I think.
Yeah.
I think it goes both ways. It's a point of interest, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes I feel a bit like, you know, you shouldn't be that entitled that you expect me to know your name.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, but that's sometimes, sometimes it feels a bit like that situation.
Yeah.
You know, and then, or did you get looked at like what?
Yeah.
Like it happened to me with bigger people. I'm a smaller MC. I'm getting the chance of my life.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, wow, what a big name.
Yeah.
I won't say names.
Yeah.
And then they looked at me really weirdly when I said like, hey man, can you remind me your DJ name again?
Yeah.
Just because I want to be correct. You know? I want to say it right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then I felt small and I said like, oh fuck man, what, you know? Because they look at me like, what, you don't know my name?
But the thing
and then it's a bit like, yo bro, can you just tell me and be like, a bit humble, you know? To answer your question, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Now when I'm, you know, more experienced with working with people, also with that when you're on a flyer and you're high up build or you're with a headliner, you know, sometimes when you arrive somewhere, you kind of expect that they know you're coming. You know what I mean? And that the other person that you're working with is also informed. Yeah. And that's not always the case.
No, that's what I mean. I've never assumed.
But the assumption, of course, if you're built together, and you never worked together with each other, but you're built together because the promoter decided to do something cool, then sometimes the communication is not always there very correctly, and then sometimes you have to adapt to a situation where you kind of both expect that we know who we are.
No, absolutely.
You know, I mean, so that goes both ways, man.
No, that's absolutely fair. I mean, I figured you'd probably say that. I mean, I've never really, probably because of who I am, like in terms of DJing. I don't want to make it about me too much, but probably because of who I am, I've never assumed any MC knows who I am. So I've always sort of gone, oh, it's Chris in perspective, like, you know what I mean? Because as well, a lot of people will call you Chris Perspective or in perspective, like I am and other things. So I always try and make sure that they say it right. So
I have this also a little bit because I was all over the place with who deciding, okay, how do I want to, you know, is it triplex? No, and then I know where we are again, at Culture Evolution.
Yes.
And then at Culture Evolution I was called triplex first, and then there was a point in time where kind of the crowd and the crew decided that I wasn't triplex anymore, but I was multiplex.
They decided that?
Yeah, they kind of gave me the name because I was better than triplex and I was more, you know, I involved, and they were like, no, you're now the multiplex.
Right, okay.
You know, and that was a thing, and then from that point on I was multiplex, and I was first MC multiplex because it was MC triplex, MC multiplex, and then I was like, after a couple of years, to get on the name switch in, and then that I'm also like pretty adamant with saying it's multiplex, just Multiplex.
Yeah.
Because it went through MC Triplex, MC Multiplex, Mr. Multiplex.
Mr. Multiplex.
To Multiplex.
Okay.
You know, so some people are just like, you know, they call me, there's several identities I feel like, but now yeah, it's Multiplex.
So Baron Multiplex. Or...
Yeah, Baron Multiplex.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, but yeah, it's funny how assuming that people know who you are can sometimes be because you're booked on a certain spot.
Yeah.
You're paid for what you're doing, so you kind of expect that people know who you are.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I never expect it. I'm always surprised when people know who I am. But then again.
Yeah, but we are talking about when you're working with people, right? I'm not talking about coming to a big gig where you're booked because the promoter knows you. That you expect walking around like I'm the fucking king.
Yeah.
You know? That's not what I'm talking about. But when you're booked with someone, with a DJ, and you're booked to work with each other, then sometimes there's the feeling like, hey, we know who we are. Or when I get booked with someone, I go and look them up and see what they're doing.
Yeah, so do I.
You know what I mean? It's like you kind of like you want to know what you're playing with, right?
Well, especially since I've been in Holland, I've definitely. Yeah. It's like who's MC? Like just.
So that's what I'm talking about, and assumptions are in general are motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And again, most of the times they are, right?
Can be,
Yeah.
but you know, there's also a lot of samey shit. That after a certain amount of time, you're sort of doing, you know, if you play out enough, you sort of start to see patterns in things.
Yeah, of course.
And like, you know, it's quite funny. You know, I've seen MCs, you know, DJs like literally just turn MCs off, and you know what I mean, like, you know, because they just get frustrated with them.
Luckily,
you know,
it never happened to me.
No,
because it's an awful feeling. I've seen it happen.
Oh, I've seen it happen,
and I've seen people being booed off stage.
To be honest,
and like at big stages, and like,
it's not nice.
Bro, that's painful. And I've learned a lot from those situations.
I've had to do it once or twice. In all the years, I've had to do it maybe once, twice, maybe. Mate, come on, just stop. Like, he wasn't good. Like, do you know what I mean? Just had to he was just screaming on the mic or something.
Yeah, it feels to me like, you know, I always support any creativity.
Absolutely.
And I'm way too nice in that way sometimes. But I'm starting to, after years of training how to treat people and how to make someone feel not attacked by still taking the mic away from them and giving them the side eye and being like, bruh, you know, that's not, it's for your integrity. But, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm doing this for you,
and
not
it's
for
quality
me.
control as well, you know? If you're there at a party and you're putting someone out and you're putting something out of the speaker, for me, I want it to be a perfect frequency that makes you dance and not go like, bruh, you know? And as an MC, you can't cater to everyone, but you gotta try.
I
So
think
mostly shut the fuck up most of the times, and then, you know, add when you can.
Yeah. Well, you do bring a lot of energy. People do seem to really respond to you. I've noticed. I've seen you play a few times now.
Yeah,
it's always been very, very reactive. People always like excited to see you. It's good to see.
It's I don't know. I think I've trained and honed into just no mask, give, experience, give, feel, say. You know, like if I go 120, you can go 100.
Okay.
You know, and that's just pure enjoyment, I think.
So I see you DJ quite a lot now. Was that always there, or was it?
No. That's like if you want to continue the timeline, we're now at Culture Evolution, right? In Utrecht.
Yeah.
And
started being called Multiplex there, right?
Yeah, started called Multiplex. We're now 17, 18.
Okay.
You know, and we are going to bigger parties. We're doing stuff with Timsky, Timsky, and like you know the brother of. Shouldn't try dropping names because I'm so bad with it. You know, I've trained this like when I introduce myself to people, I just go. Many people know this. Like I give you 5 jokers so we can forget each other's name without shame.
Yeah, nah.
Because when you meet a lot of people, You know, there's not a lot of space in his brain for all the names.
Yeah, it's difficult.
And I remember your face. Yeah. I remember the moments that we shared together, but not sometimes not your name, bro. And if you're offended, you're definitely on the blacklist.
It's people should understand. People do get offended when you don't remember it, but I do cover it up by.
No, but not remembering your name doesn't identify not remembering you for me.
I mean,
you know, I remember you, but what was your name again?
Yeah.
Don't be offended that I don't know that. What are we're here for experiences, right?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what your name is, bro. I loved every moment we shared with each other. You know, it's kind of for me. It's like that. Can we please get past that? You know, that little label.
Yeah, but
number 4, 570,000 million to 2.0. I don't care.
Absolutely, no, I agree with you. But I just think some people do get very.
Maybe if people hear this, like, let it be a lesson. Like, we don't like. Let's talk about real problems, not about what your name is, okay? Please.
Just introduce yourself again.
Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Yeah. You probably don't remember, because I even say that to bigger DJs than me or whatever. I was like, you probably don't remember me, I'm Chris, blah, blah. A lot of the time, they probably, again, like you say, they probably don't remember my name, but they remember, that guy is the guy. Do you know what I mean? So
we did this and this, did we?
If you just say your name, and it just saves them the issue, and it's like, you know, it's all good, it's fine.
So, but we're at Culture Evolution.
Yeah. We renamed Multiplex.
Multiplex is emerging.
Playing at bigger events.
Playing more with Chakra as well.
Yeah.
And then we got invited basically because our club kind of ended as well. And we were at peak. Very, very lot of people coming to our events, and then Utrecht Massive, the big crew, was like, "Yo guys, do you want to merge and join our forces and go on to the big club, play in the Tivoli and stuff like that?" So we were like, "Fuck yeah!" So that was the next step, and that was also the point where the bigger crew came, where I met Boycott Selecta, where I met, really got to know Chakra really well, and. Drum and bass scene. I got into Den Haag with bass. What was it again? Hagenbas, and at the Reactor in Den Haag, and we did a lot of stuff illegal as well. We had Strike Back. Then Deep Cuts crew came, and that was a lot of stuff in Nijmegen.
Right.
And I'm skipping. We go rewind. Can I get a pull up? Okay. So
in that case.
Utrecht Massive.
Yeah.
And then there was a point in time where there was some difficulty in the crew, I think, or just different points of view of where the scene should go. So we had some divisions. We had dungeons and DJs in the dungeons of the old. County house in Utrecht, really cool location. Then we had a couple of stuff like that. We had other parties as well. We did in the Puma. We did parties. We had Noisia there, and on vinyl sets, stuff like that. Old school stuff for the Dutch scene. We organized that also with the same group of Culture Evolution, and then as an offshoot as from Utrecht Massive, because it kind of. People were doing different things, and we were kind of the young boys of the group. And Utrecht Massive, there was a point. Sinister Souls was also with Utrecht Massive. That was the kind of a group that we're talking about. Sinister Souls and Westrum, Elusive. Really the old school Clown Step crew as well.
Oh, nice.
The Clown Step gang here in Holland.
Clown Step, I heard that term.
Before Jump Up was Jump Up, Clown Step.
I didn't realise there was a difference. I thought it was just like, I suppose Clown Step was more like the
Clown Step
comedy.
Clown Step is before Jump Up. That became Jump Up. Like.
I mean,
honestly, go on.
No, I'm not disputing it. I'm not going to even pretend to be an expert. I'm just actually sort of feeling out.
For me, it's like all about the feeling. You know, what does Clown Step did for me?
Because I'm just trying to define what would you define.
Clown Step is for me the drum and bass. Where you're fully into it, and you could just like, because the drop dropped, you could just like giggle, because it's so It's funky.
Yeah.
It's danceable. We're all dancing, but we all know it's a bit silly.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
it's the silliness.
It's the silliness
of it. Yeah.
The silliness of it. You know, you can go meep.
Yeah. That's what I sort of considered it to be. Yeah.
And that's also a bit like the you know, the different, a little bit more the moombahton shake in there. You know, it's like it's still drum and bass, but there's a little. You know, little click in there. And that's also with jump up is it's really the staccato.
Yes.
You know?
It's the start of the beats. I like some of the modern jump up stuff, all the sort of scary noise stuff.
I love it. And I was there for the beginning of the jump up stuff in Belgium as well, you know, like the universes and you know, there's one video going viral where I stop a fight.
Oh wow.
It's fucking funny.
Because Belgian jump up's its own sound, isn't it?
It's his own sound, man. It's his own little puppy, and it's really cool.
But I heard it's got something to do with the drinking lot. Because someone told me it's because in Belgium you can go into bars and clubs younger than 16. Other places. Yeah.
Yeah, in Holland it was the same, but then it went
they changed it.
Yeah,
18. Like everywhere else. But I think in Belgium it was like that for a very long time, and so they reckon
there were definitely events when I did the Belgium events. And
there was definitely younger kids.
There was definitely events for 16. Yeah. Also in Vienna and stuff, there's also places for 16 you can go to the rave.
Yeah.
And we're skipping again.
No. Well, but it's interesting that phenomenon because I think that's why that music sounds like that because it's aimed for the younger crowd. But anyway, go on. Sorry. Go on.
We were at Utrecht Massive, kind of like dissolving, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna stop. For me, I was like, yo, where my crew go? You know what I mean? So I was like, cool. And then I knew Blackout was there, but always Utrecht Massive and Blackout were two different entities, and our friend group always went to Blackout, and we were like part of Utrecht Massive, but it was a different crowd or something. I don't know what it was. And for me, there was never a beef. But I think for other people, there was maybe the belief of beef. You know this thing? In drum and bass, this is a thing, man. The belief of beef.
Sometimes helpful. Yeah.
Because people talk about you. It's always good when they talk about you. But sometimes I've heard people made up beefs between me and people. And I'm like, bro, we vibe. Like, there's nothing between. You know what I mean? It's good. It's funny. But, you know, that's what I call the belief of beef.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Some people do live off that shit. I mean,
I'm a vegan, man. I don't do beef.
I love a bit of beef, me. But
I love beef, but I'm a vegan and emotional. I'm an emotional vegan.
Emotional vegan?
No, I don't do beef.
That's terrible, mate. That's a dad joke, that is. That's good.
I'm 37 now, I can make dad jokes. They just come natural now.
It's like MC dad joke.
Yeah, man, they come natural now.
MC dad joke. Yeah. But so you were...
Well, the moment I realized that kind of in my city, in my bubble, there was a different, people moved on, there was a different thing, you lost contact, and I went to Blackout, to Blacks and Empire, and it's just like, yo guys, can I MC on your set? And they were like, well, you can try, you can have a go. And then I gave my everything and all my energy, and that's why I kind of also the full-on energy kind of started to realize, hey, if you give everything, you get everything.
Yeah.
And that's a push and a pull, and that's where I started to realize, hey, and play with crowds and the effect of more people in a room. What happens when there's more people in the room and you demand attention? Yeah. And you say, hey, this is what we're doing now. And all of a sudden everybody has, it's like, it's almost like magic or like a rhythm that if everybody tunes into that, it's like a circadian rhythm. You know, you start humming and everything becomes that, and that's what the rave is to me. You know, that's where you can, and as an MC or a DJ, the way you give or enjoy what you do, and how you can communicate. It's all body language, and definitely as a DJ, it's body language. As an MC, it's also verbal, but mostly body language. You can say the coolest shit, but if you just stand there like a sack of potatoes, half of the crowd is standing there like a sack of potatoes, and the people that are eyes closed, they're dancing. You know? And if you can get everybody in that moment where everyone is either eyes closed or not, but connected with what is happening.
Yeah.
That's for me the purest human experience we can have. Yeah. You know, it's the for me the only thing is except for DMT, where where me being me is fucking amazing. And me, I mean all of us, because you know it becomes an entity. I know that you know what I mean. You know, it's that's why we go to the rave. You know, that's why, because everyone has been there once, and either you can get there every time, but as an MC or as an artist, to figure out that code. And I believe that there's a code that can make 50,000 people go wild.
I believe that's probably true. Yeah.
And if you can,
I
started for me. That's my reality I live in, and I know that if I tune in and if I'm real, and if I'm take my mask off, and if I dare not to give a fuck, you know, about opinions and about judgment and about all these things, then I can be legendary. I can be that person on stage that make you go, oh, fuck.
Is that what you're aiming for? Is that what you want? Like
no, well, I don't aim. I aim to be nothing, and I aim to be something that you don't dare to be. Be something that maybe is hard for someone else. Seek uncomfortable. My power phrase is strength out of vulnerability. Okay. That's my mantra. Yeah. You know, it's like dare to be vulnerable so you can be powerful.
Yeah, what is it? Don't be afraid to be a lion. What is it? Don't be afraid to be a lamb. No. Be a lion so people don't forget. I can't remember the lamb you are.
Yeah, but it's basically
one way around.
Yeah. You know, like
I can't really fuck that up.
I was betrayed weak while I was strong. Yeah. And when I was weak now, I didn't pretend to be strong. I was weak, and it was way more powerful. You know, and I helped people by maybe not sharing the solution, but by sharing the struggle, by sharing the pain, or by singing something that makes you feel or connect with that moment that's actually hard, but the music makes it easier because you're sharing it with someone.
So why have you released music then?
That's the thing I was scared of, because I made an album in these periods. We're talking about this time of developing myself as an MC. I also, in the time period that Culture that Utrecht Massive kind of dissolved, I bought the vinyls of Adrian from Sinister Souls. Okay. And I got some vinyls from Silverfunk, and I started playing vinyl and chasing more of making music as well. And we did some mixes, recording, but I never liked what I did. I always hated what I did. And I was never, I always loved the moment of being, you know, and the moment of being tuned in, but I was always if I listen back now, way too critical of my own doing. So I didn't want to record, and then the moment that I had a housemate in my house in Zeist, my squad, I always squatted from when I was like 15. Right. So, side note, walked away from home, started squatting. Right. So all of this takes place while I'm not with my parents anymore. Right. And that was the point in time where I also started to learn Reactor, Tractor, Reactor.
Yeah, I know Reactor very well, yeah.
And then I started playing around with Ableton 7. And then I got nights that I fully engaged and made music, and then started singing and writing my own songs, and recorded a whole album basically, and finished that, and then all my shit got stolen.
Oh mate, oh, shit.
So yeah, I think I've never had like.
You haven't recovered from that basically.
No. Just in Corona time. Yeah. And that hit me then. I was afraid, and I swear I would never touch a microphone again if it was for the purpose of recording, because that was not for me. Because the pain of I can still cry about it now. The pain of losing that music. Every time a friend, I decided literally to good friends of mine that every time I saw them, they kept reminding me of where that music was. Like, oh, can I hear that again? And I literally decided, you know what, I'm not gonna call you anymore because every time we meet, you hurt me by saying that shit. You know what I mean? That's how deep that went for me.
Yeah, that must be painful.
So I stopped creating, and I stopped recording, and I stopped Ableton, and I stopped that whole processing of making music because then I just focused on gigs, just did gigs, did drugs and did gigs.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And I honed my skills on the stage for 20 years, and then.
So that was 20 years ago you did that album.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the whole.
Oh no, you said Corona, didn't you? Sorry.
Yeah, Corona time was the time I realized, okay, you know what? I'm at a point where I had a lot of chances, and and Corona just came by and swooped tours off the table with big projects, you know, and like massive things, you know. I can't really,
See,
I don't want it. It's like, it doesn't matter. But things were big, were happening. And they were off the table, so I was a bit lost. So that was the moment I realized, okay, I want to start making music again. And I had that want again, you know, that I want to prove myself. Not only to the world, but to myself, because I had the want, you know.
You had the
desire to create, to be a maker, you know. And that point just came recently. So the second year of Corona, actually.
Yeah.
You know.
Because it's one thing that I've always found quite disparaging about drum and bass as a whole. That it doesn't matter what side of it that you're on. That globally almost, like there's a lack of vocal projects from MCs. Yeah. Like the vast majority of MCs I've worked with over the years, all over the world, are pretty much focused on the live thing. They like doing the live thing, it's fun, I get it. But they never ever then want to commit any work to mute, to like, you know, to some sort of platform, or to tape, so to speak.
I'm now recording, and there's a lot of old things that I'm actually just gonna like maybe put on a tape deck and say, yo, the lost archives, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, it's not professionally level, but I'm not gonna change it or re-record it. It's what it is.
It is what it is.
But I'm not scared anymore to fail. I'm not scared to show my process anymore, you know. And I'm actually trying to, you know what? I decided to brand that, the process, the pain, you know, be real. Don't make it up. Don't make it look better. Just show what the fuck is going on. Show how it, you know. Oh yeah, that day, that recording, that bit was super sick, but that one note off, yeah, it's in there because it's a one taker. It's a feel.
Right, yeah.
It feels fucking nice, man.
Yeah.
It's not perfect.
Okay.
And that for me, like, I'll rather show the road to success than being successful.
See, you sound like a punk guy now.
I don't know if it's punk. I don't know.
No. I didn't mean to stop you in your tracks, but it was interesting what you were saying there. The way you were speaking, you sounded like more like a punk musician.
There is a bit. I
could see the DNA.
I had a mohawk, you know. I am a little bit against the grain.
Yeah,
you know. I don't like to conform because when you're bullied and when you're being told that you're different, you look for how to be. And then when all these things that you thought that you had to be, if you find out and have, I don't know what has to happen, some people never find out and they're lying to themselves their whole lives. Yeah. I went to a couple of characters, I feel like, over my lifespan, over my experience.
Right, okay.
Of who I thought I had to be. Yeah. And now I just don't conform to anyone's ideas anymore. And I just listen to my insides, my heart, my spirit, my mind, and my experiences, and I put them to work, and it's a different puppy. It's a different person. I like me now, you know, and I'm even proud of, not proud, but not scared of talking about my flaws or my past dents.
Well, what's one of your flaws?
One of my flaws?
Yeah.
One of my flaws is starting to believe in the person that I wanted to be. So there was a lot of people that see me different. Yeah. Like some old friends of me would be like, yo, you're totally changed. Right. Because they only know the person that was bullied and that was in pain and said, you know, oh, I think you like this person. Right. And then that's what I became. You know, so there's...
So you stopped sort of changing yourself?
I stopped changing myself. I stopped putting on masks.
Yeah.
I stopped believing that I believe what you believe, that I believe that that conundrum of like, I think you think what I think that you think that I think of you. You know, it's like, what the fuck are you on about, bro? You know, that was one of my flaws, but now it's, I think, my power, because I see that is an option of a mental or human condition. It's conditioning. It's choosing your surroundings. So I choose my surroundings well now, and surround myself.
So you don't have to. So you choose yourself to put yourself in surroundings where you don't feel you need to put on.
There we go.
Yeah.
And even if I'm in a surrounding where they think that I need to put on, I'm not putting it on. And the funny thing is, I get way more respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get way much. I'm respected in circles now where you think like, what?
Yeah.
Does this guy is your friend? Yeah. Because I don't pretend to be your friend. Yeah. Either we like each other or not.
Yeah.
It's really simple. Yeah. But you know what I mean? No. And that was one of my flaws, that I just made up a thing, made you like it, told you lies, because I thought that was and then I started to believe the lies.
So you were a people pleaser before,
I was a people pleaser, for sure, and I was a conditioned people pleaser. If you're bullied, and if you're always told that you're different and weird, then I'll fucking try to act and condone to your fucking ways of life. Because now I'm normal all of a sudden. You know, that's for me now a point of energy, point of power. If I see someone or notice bullying or something like that, I crush it with love.
Yeah. You hippie.
Yeah. I'm the most non-hippie hippie.
No, that's very true. Punk hippie or something. I
don't know. But I think it's just being straightforward, or being honest to yourself. And if you're honest to yourself, you can stand by everything you do, right? Yeah. Even if it's weird to you, it's from the heart.
I don't think many people find you weird at all. I think everyone that I've heard that talk about you have said how lovely you are, basically. That's all I've ever heard. That's all I've ever heard people say.
And that has grown because I have enough reason to be lovely. Yeah. And enough reason, I know how people cannot be lovely. And I've seen some fucked up shit what people do, or everyone can explain themselves why they do stuff, right? Yeah. And like,
oh God, I'm terrible.
But you know what I mean? Like, but you still do it. Yeah. And if you forget that step of realizing what the fuck what I just did, what did that do to you? If you can't have empathy, then you'll be an asshole forever.
Well, this is it.
And it's also to yourself. If you can have empathy to yourself, and your own self-being, then I think this is the only outcome that will become. It's nice to be nice. It's nice to be nice.
Yes, absolutely. But it's good to be integral as well. Look, I'm guilty. You saw it the other day. I'm guilty of being overly passionate about things sometimes, and I always sort of think, I always regret it when I maybe make someone think I'm being a bit rude or whatever. But for the most part, I always apologise.
No, but you're sure of your lip. You know, when you speak, speak from the heart.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So even if you make a mistake, then you say like, oh, you know what?
I'll say, look,
actually, I said it, but fuck, you know.
I could have presented that better. I could have said it better, or I could have presented my argument for
it becomes a power.
Yeah. So like
that's the answer to your question. Yeah. That was a mistake or was a flaw, but if you can, a mistake is only a mistake if you learn nothing from it.
If you don't learn anything from it, it's pointless.
Yeah.
So we could go back to the story, but I'm kind of curious about the future for you now, because it seems like you're making a bit of a transitional thing. Yeah. You've been known since I've known you.
Well, to answer the question,
we
were on recording. If we were MCs for recording.
Well, you gave the reasons why. Yeah. And you told me the whole story about losing your staff and everything else. So that's where we're at now with that. You don't necessarily want to record again.
I want to record for sure.
Well, I think you should.
I'm now busy with a lot of recordings. I can next time in the set I will I played some stuff of mine. Like I am making music, and for the first time I jumped back into the bubble And because first I needed, from the Corona time, in this whole process, I got a friend who helped me a lot with getting subsidized. Knars, lovely man, lovely friend.
Yeah.
Really good musician. I really look up to him, and I learned a lot from him. And the process of being in a professional project, of being subsidized, of having to buy stuff, getting lessons, all this stuff really pushed me in realizing how I didn't want to do things, and also took me a while after the project to realize how I do make music and how I project myself and how I can easily tap into that energy, flow state. Let's call it flow state, where you can just create and be the music, and the sounds become words, and words become meaning, and thoughts become patterns, and it's like it all of a sudden the things that you find impossible to think about are easy to just, and that is something hard to catch in a studio, and that's also why I think that there's just a couple of MCs that really have those tunes that are legendary, because they were there at the beginning when no one thought about anything, and they just gave, and they were just at that point in time.
Do you mean vocal MC tunes?
Vocal MC tunes, like
DRS, I should say.
DRS, like those were moments. They captured moments. That's what they did. And that's hard to capture, bro. And that's hard. For me, like, I know that there's bits and moments and things I did at live shows. Those were tunes. I did albums on a live show, and that people like, where can I find this? And they're like, this was now and then never again. And that's somewhere that's beautiful, but now I'm at the point where, like, no, I want to train, and I'm going to hone the skill of tapping into the jungle vine,
go on.
Swinging on the vine in a studio, because I'm sure of myself and I know how to make that moment. And that's again the code. If you learn the code, you can tap into that frequency.
Absolutely. Sure. A good producer can help you achieve that as well.
Like I'm a constructor, I'm not a producer. Like I just made a jungle tune or just got into the bubble again where I could just be me and the computer and just and breaks and some cutting and just export, and just went, oh shit, I made fire. And that's the moment again. Because I didn't think, I wasn't trying to make something sick. No. I was just flowing. And that, the flow state is something that you need to be in as an MC or as a vocalist. And it's difficult if you are grown up on the stage, because you have everything there. A lot of people, they start in the studio and then they get the stage, and then the same transition of studio artist to stage artist takes 5 to 8 years to become, most of the times. I'm not saying it doesn't matter how many years, but it takes a time to adjust yourself.
No, the adjustment is definitely there. No. I was just thinking about your comment about, I was trying to think how many MCs started off in the studio and then I think in jungle at least, the majority of them would have started on stage, I would have thought, but I can't think of any.
But that's why there's not a lot of jungle MCs on the record, because
that's what I mean.
It is hard to make that transition.
No,
that's
I
the
agree.
answer to your questions. Like that's why.
I agree.
And I'm hard working to break free. Also, that's why I'm Multiplex and not Mr. not MC, because I start to see myself as an artist. I start to see myself as a maker. And not just the guy that stands next to the DJ. Do you think, because it's funny, I've heard a few MCs say that. One, I think one particular I got very angry at the suggestion that I can explain you exactly why I say that.
Do you think, well, I'll just expand on my question before you answer. Do you think that there's a insecurity, not insecurity, what's the wrong word? It's not insecurity, it's more like that there's like a hierarchy that shouldn't exist, but sometimes exists between the DJ and the MC, and a lot of MCs feel maligned and put down upon by DJs in that way. And so, because I've noticed a lot of MCs lately have been getting their backs up about the idea of being just called an MC. Like that's not good enough anymore.
Because an MC is a master of ceremony. And there's a point where the master of ceremony and being an additional part of the music crosses over. And there's a point in time where it becomes, everybody wants to be seen, right? Everybody wants to be recognized for how they speak, what they do, what they come across. And when there's a certain feeling of it's in the small things, it's a tap on the back. It's saying like, yo, this show was so sick, you know what? I got 3.5K for this show. Right. I know your fee was 300. I know everybody needs to eat. You know what? Let's make it 5.
Yeah.
Those, you know, and those are the things that the demographic of, maybe it's not the right word, but the difference between, first of all, billing or being forgot to be on the billing, or the point that there's no transparency about how much people are getting paid, because you know we don't really want to say you're getting paid, not even a fifth of what I'm getting paid. Yeah. You know, and that's like, it becomes, when you create something together, together we get better. And it's not like the song like me a little bit more than you know. Right. and it's I can understand that resentment sometimes, but for me, I kind of like decided, let that go, because it's not doing anything for me. No, it wouldn't. It's not making me more creative. Yeah. And I'm just making myself being more relevant. It's make yourself relevant. So to answer your question, why are more MCs saying that? Because there is no MC culture in Europe. There's an MC culture in England. Yeah, and also in England there's a certain kind of amount that people get paid for their job, for their craft that they do. And above that, you're either an A-lister or it's ridiculous what you're asking, you know, and there's just a given, and then we don't even talk about it. We all know this, you know, and DJs, they can be like, Jesus Christ, he got expensive in 3 months, but yeah, he released a tune here and there. But again, if you can capture those moments with an MC, then some MCs can make a tune that goes boom, Ira, you know, but and then that's a moment, they captured something there that everybody goes, I fucking feel this shit.
I mean, I think that's what sets apart a lot of the top MCs really. Is that
and there we go, and that's why, because a lot of MCs, it's like in extreme sports, you know, someone does a backflip, but I'm doing a triple backflip. Right, yeah. And then someone does a quadruple backflip. Yeah. And then someone does a 2180. You know, it's mental, and that's the drive I was talking about. Like drive, that believing in something that's bigger than you, a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, is what you need to be able to hone that new skill. A lot of MCs, they are grown up on stage, they've been there for 15, 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah, they can't get back.
For me, you know, it's hard to make that switch, but I'm dedicated to make that change, and I'm now recording stuff that I'm like, that's actually sick. I like my own music. So that's hard.
Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
Excuse me, you're recording vocals over.
Yeah, I'm recording vocals, but also now, because I know how to record the vocals, I know how to, I'm with people, you know. Now I would put on a tune, and I would put it on the table, just put on a tune, freestyle, and then there's probably 2 or 3 ideas in there, and then I just have to adjust a little bit. And that's how I write, because that's how you capture the moment. If I try to write a tune, there's so many options, and there's so many, for me, so much time to think about all my mistakes and all my that's when I get negative, and I start believing that I'm a shit artist and that I can't write, because it's not so easy to go, reliving with the pain in my life, and I just have to write it down. And then when I wrote it down, I lost the vibe. I'm not in the flow state anymore. You know, and that's a different writing in a flow state is a different beast than speaking in flow state.
Absolutely.
So you that's the change. That's a massive change as an artist you have to make from stage to studio. And that's a 10-year learning curve right there.
It can
you know, and now I'm like, okay, in year 5. So I'm starting to believe again, okay, I can do this, you know. I'm not scared to show my tunes anymore, and not like, I'll show them at the after party when we're all wavy and we're all like anything anyway. You know what I mean? It's like
that's never the time. Especially vocal stuff.
and it's pretty, again, vulnerable to show yourself singing or show yourself rapping on something, because when you see someone doesn't like it,
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to not go like that somewhere inside you.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be really cool.
It's gonna hurt.
But I'm getting that cool. That I'm like, I don't care if you like it. I do my music because I like it.
Yeah, I think that's how you got to look at it, because like, it's just no point, you know, worrying about too much.
I'm the first listener. Sorry, I'm the first listener.
No, totally. But if everyone's telling you something's terrible, then sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But then, even
if you tell you the plate's still dirty after your dishes, you don't do the dishes again. You know that?
But it's like you were saying that you prefer just to go straight into the booth.
Yeah.
This is just about recording now. You prefer to go straight into the booth, just get off your chest what's on your mind, and then maybe go back and rewrite on top, or For me, I like to, even when I get into the studio, I tell people like, don't send me anything. Yeah.
Get me in the studio, get the mic warmed up.
Right.
Get vibey. We smoke a spliff. We have a good talk. We have a good convo. Yeah. We talk about maybe what we want to be the tune to feel about, or what the angle is. Of, you know, or you show me the break, and then we're like, oh, stick, okay. And then I step into the studio, and I just start spitting, and I maybe make a 18-minute long version of the tune. You know what I mean? It's like just get it over, like do three or four ideas of the tunes that you want me to maybe work on, and then like that, and that's how most of ideas come, and then just, you know, like, oh, maybe you want to do something on this, and then I just start.
But then would you go back and then, or is it all freestyled, or would you go back and then?
It's freestyle, and then I go back, and then I rewrite it maybe, but that's also when I'm with someone that really wants to, okay, let's make a tune, you know, like. For me, it's hard to go then listen myself back and then listen. Okay, we're jumping forward now. Now I have a recorder. That when I spit, it records the music. It records me, and it narrates me instantly. So it's written down.
Oh right, it picks up your voice as well.
Picks up my voice, picks up different speakers. And for me now, it's like, oh shit, I'm in the perfect timing. For where there's actually the tools and the stuff for my brain to be able to capture my temporary genius.
No, lightning in the bottle, as they call it.
You know, it's like it's just there, and then if you can capture that, you have to be sitting there with the camera constantly, and that's the microphone, and the mic is not always on. No, but that's why I'm not recorded, and the pain of losing that music. But now I have the new spirit, new life.
Got mic.
Got mic.
Like
got mic, got bars, got feels.
You
know, and shit just got real as well. So it's like, I don't know. There's people actually listening now. There's people actually.
Well, who are you working? Is there anyone you can mention who you're working with at the moment?
I'm working with Kilohertz.
Right.
That's a big project.
Right.
I am working with Knars. There's a lot of things in England. I'm working with J-Man, Three Kings.
Okay.
There's more jungly stuff.
There's
a lot of things in the pipeline. There is a lot of stuff that just needs to, like all the roots are growing.
Right.
And a lot of plants need to shoot, but I'm also just like kind of waiting for me to be able to be fully equipped with all the knowledge and all the skill and the balls to just be that guy. Because you got to be a guy. You know what I mean? You got to be a character.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
These days,
you got to be someone.
It's not enough to be a musician. No, you have to be and a content creator and a personality, and you got to look good. And you gotta have a certain suave, and for me it's not something I strive to, but I did notice that the more me I am, and the less fucks I give about your opinion or how I come across to you, the more people like me.
Right.
And it is working for me as a brand. It is working for me as an artist to just be really just me, and it's really big. And it's like, is it that easy? You know what I mean? I'm like, was it that fucking easy? Was it that what I had to do?
Could this not be another master? Because you just said something there. You said, the more I don't give a fuck, the more people like me, right?
No, but it's not about. I'm saying where you're coming from. I say where you're coming from.
Do you see what I mean?
Could be a mask. Could be, but for me, I'm not hiding anything. I'm not trying to be. It's not something. Like back to it's nice to be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is a good energy.
No, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I'm not talking about me being liked.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the effect that I have on my surroundings.
Yeah. No, I was just picking up on what you said.
Yeah.
So,
but what I said pointed for me at the meaning that the effect that I have on my surroundings is that if I am the best that I want to be for myself and say the things in the way I want to say them or feel them without having to adjust myself to my nearer surroundings, then everything that I say is being picked up as genuine, positive, and dealt with, and reacted to. I feel heard, I feel seen, I feel listened to. These are all positive things, and this is not something that is for me a mask. It is more an effect. It's a cause and effect, a push and a pull. And a mask is pulling constantly or pushing constantly, and it needs to be a genuine. Of course, I can be in a situation and I can adapt myself to be deemed normal.
Right.
You know, at a table where you need to have some table manners or stuff like that. But I'm not adapting myself in such a way that I become something different.
Okay.
You know, there's a fine line in wearing a mask or being.
Right.
You know, like a mask is something that we tend to say as a negative, right? We hide behind.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, it's not particularly negative. I think people have.
Is it a mask if you go to your grandma and you change your demeanor a bit?
Absolutely, it's code switching.
But it's not a negative. It's not a negative.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like wear the coat to the occasion.
Yeah, well, it's called code switching. That's
code switching.
Yeah, that's what.
You know, and of course, like in a way, if we're talking. This is one of the words I have difficulties with.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's not spirituality. It's Plato. What is it?
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
That's one of the words. My tongue is called philosophy.
Philosophy. Yeah, philosophical. Yeah.
Philosophical. There we go. If you want to get philosophical, yes, it could be a mask, and it's something you portray yourself as to be.
Yeah, we probably would do that.
It is an idea of how you feel comfortable. Yeah. And I was never comfortable. Yeah. And now I'm at a place of my life where I can be comfortable with the things I was scared of, and I'm now proud of the things that made me weak, or I believe that made me weak, and I now know that being unapologetically me. Yes. Is the best way to go and is paying off better than all the other fucking ideas that made it difficult to live because it was something I had to think about constantly. And now I don't have to think about anything anymore. And it's just like, is it that fucking easy to just be?
Yeah, I think it can be.
It can be, but you have to, you don't have to do anything. You just have to stop thinking that everything matters so much. Yeah. Because if you can't just listen to the music and listen to the break, and you're only thinking about your opinion, or your race, or your race, or why the lights are on, or why the bass is too loud. No.
It always gets back to the music. Yeah.
Be in the moment, you know. And for me,
I'll give you that.
That want of making music again comes back to the whole realization of where we just went. Of if you want people to listen to you, you got to be someone or be something that matters maybe, or make something happen. You have to be a spark. You have to make me move. Right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you in the spotlight? You're standing still, bro. You know what I mean?
I think different people in the spotlight for different reasons.
No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but I understand
if we're talking about that, you know, in a like, you have to conform to a certain idea to be listened to.
Yeah.
And these days, being listened to means that you're not just an artist.
Yeah.
You have to be a creator, content creator, and
Yeah.
video editor.
Yeah,
we were
true.
talking about video editing.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do I know anything about video editing?
Because it's obviously a necessary
It's
evil.
interesting,
Yeah.
and I can get lost in it, but it's a distraction to my music.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you got involved with video editing.
Yeah, because it's necessary.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, 'cause
It's a necessity to what I do. So, and I thought, I look at something and I think in those visions. I can see it. So I just need to figure out the buttons, how to make it do it like that. Because I have the ideas of what I want to see or what I want to listen. Like that's what I said. I'm not a sound engineer or producer in a way that I can. Make my own snares, make my bass lines, but I'm a conductor. I can really well sample and construct and make music because it's like Lego to me. You know, it's like, oh, these bits and that bits are cooking. You know, like when you put salt with pepper and then a little bit of curcuma, you get a certain taste.
Okay, interesting.
You know, and then that for me, that's like making music as well.
But you were talking about how you have learnt to be yourself and be comfortable being yourself.
Yes.
And not be concerned about what other people.
There we go.
Yeah.
And as an artist these days, you have to develop yourself
Yes.
as a multi-talented entity that has to be a personality, non-political, preferably, non-racist, non-binary, you have to take so much into account, and it's so easy to be cancelled for a rumor, or you know what I mean. So there's so many aspects to. Honestly, I don't want to be famous. I just want to make music and live my life and make some money with it. It would be nice, you know. And making money with music, if you're not in the A level or at a certain point. It's pretty fucking hard, man.
It's almost impossible.
It is almost impossible, and it takes a lot of energy from. That's why I do. I have a building company on the side, and 3 days now. Luckily, because I've gotten to the point, I don't have to do 5 days anymore and do 3 days of performing. Now it's 3 days of work, but it's not. It's not easy to make a dime, you know, and. You have to work really hard to get into the picture or the momentum or the followers these days.
Yeah.
For even to be considered to get to the next level and being paid for making an album, getting a loan for making an album, side eye.
Well, some artists don't get management as well.
Like I'm on the point where I'm like, you know, I would get a management. I would. Because I know it's investing in the future. It's investing in something that's bigger than me now. Because I see myself in a different point, and that I couldn't see before. You know, and I know it's without a doubt my future. You know, and it's not something that I doubt anymore. It's something I know, and then it becomes true easy. Yeah. So if you can live by those standards. And also get the spark to make the music and to experience moments that you can really be true to yourself, be true to the pain and feel it. So when someone listens to that song, they can go, fuck man.
They can feel it.
They feel it, you know? And for me, it's not okay if you don't feel it. It's okay if you feel something, even if it's uncomfortable or not super happy.
Yeah.
Or you know, there's songs that I've released now. They're really angry and really sad and really quirky. And you know, I've recorded songs now that are. I recorded a song that I want to do. I'm just gonna say it. I want to do it at. I dream to do it at the European Song Festival. You know, it's a song.
Well, Eurovision.
That's a dream. That's a BHAG of mine. Yeah,
Eurovision. You want to do Eurovision Song Contest?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, go on, son.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like that. I want to break free from being, if you're saying like back to why do MCs starting to just be a multiplex or just be AMC or you know, not AMC. You know, fuck. Is it AMC? No, it's AMC. Is the DJ.
Yeah, it's a DJ. Yeah.
No, there's. plain fun. Doesn't matter. But going back to changing that identity, it's also a want of just being seen in a different way, being more of you, I think. You know, and that's I think a universal discovery we're all discovering, because more and more people, it's easier to have a conversation with. It's easier to get to the point.
So do you think you're not influenced by anyone anymore because of this, of how you feel?
Honestly, I find it hard to understand how you can be a fan. I can really be inspired by something or someone, but fandom is something, I'm a fan of the style or of the sounds, or of the feeling that the music gives me. Yeah. But certain people, or you know, that like the.
No, I didn't really mean like. I didn't mean like people like big DJs or whatever. But I just mean like you just be artists you just respect and just rate.
It's just you get inspired and respect.
Even people you just know that make really good music or whatever.
When your heroes become your friends. You know. Yeah. A lot of my heroes are my friends.
Right. Okay.
So then they're fronts.
Yeah, they're fronts. The Fruros.
The Fruros. Yeah. But you know, it's like. It's something special to be part of a scene that is really inspiring to one another and really supporting to one another in the love for the music. You know, we're all here because we love the music. And for me, jungle is a feeling like a gateway. It's like, for me, jungle music or drum and bass is hyper intelligent metal, super hip hop on steroids. You know, it's jazz on heroin. You know, but you know what I mean. There's all these influences that make me love music in a certain way. That I believe now that I can make music that speaks to a lot of people. Right. Okay. And that's the certain kind of security or your self, you know, belief or knowing or you know, is it self-belief or is it like when I look in the mirror I see what I see, you know, that kind of, and that's what you need these days to, well, I think always actually, if you think about a legendary musician, they were just, why were they so fucking cool? Because they were just unapologetically them.
They were themselves, yeah.
You know, and that's I think the journey, that because everybody just wants to be famous now. Everybody just wants to be only the end of it. They only want to see the end of it. They only want to get pictures. They only want to get like, you know, make that bubble. And it's not interesting to me anymore. Right. You know, it's not something. I find it ugly. Yeah, it's not pretty. No,
but it's just weird. It is. But it's like you say. At the same time, you have to become a content creator and do all this stuff, even just to get people to notice your shit. Yeah. But at the same time, in certain spheres of jungle drum and bass, there are people that don't do any socials.
I barely do socials. I feel people are like, yo, you're doing so well on socials. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I literally do have like a week of spirit. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do it, man. And then I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm never posting again. And then I don't do it for 3 weeks.
But I'm talking about people that don't have an Instagram and just have a Bandcamp.
They just put new music I would love it, but I started it.
Do you know what I mean?
I started it already.
I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying...
I deleted my TikTok. It was so freeing.
Yeah, but I bet, because I think that's why I was sort of going to the point about different artists needing different things, because I think, you know...
you say something. Different artists need different things.
I think there's artists that have that sort of cult following and stuff. They don't feel the need to use Instagram, they don't feel the need to use any sort of like Facebook or anything. They just use the platform they put their music out on as the vehicle to promote themselves. Yeah. And like they just let the music do the talk.
I feel like my self-promotion or my music or my being an artist has always been way more, how do you say it, fruitful. Than me doing a post on Instagram. It took negative time from me, it took time away from me being me. Yeah. You know, and like in the beginning I was trying to conform to the certain Instagram things, and now I'm just like, no. You know what? I took it totally over different road, and I'm like, you know, I'm literally just starting to brand what we're talking about. Just be me, being real, being just a bit of me. And then I was like, I look back, I'm like, yeah, now I'm just like content creator that I don't want to be. And all this time for me thinking about how I should be perceived. And I'm like, no. I just want the music to speak, and I just want the sounds I make and create.
Yeah.
I want them to matter.
Yeah.
I want you to forget if I'm white, black, blue, alien, stone, metal. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I just want you to listen and feel something. And if you want to let me know, let me know. And if you don't, then don't, bro.
No.
You know what I mean?
I
Download it illegally, find it, get it sent by a friend. I want it to matter.
Yeah.
Music is there to matter.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an art and a craft I think is forgotten about. It's not being famous, it's being relevant, being true, being you, and not being scared for the consequences of being you. Because it's never going to be easy. People will have opinions. There's people that fucking despise me probably because I'm an MC. And I spit over drum and bass.
I mean,
yeah, and I understand.
I understand. I'm sure they'll let you know.
Oh yeah, dude. I have people that send me emails. I thank them every time. It's like lovely. Keep sending me emails, brother. I'll miss you if you don't.
Can't worry about it. Do you know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah. I was attacked.
I'm not saying. I know.
Dude, I remember crushing my heart when I went on a YouTube thing and I read the comments on a set. I was destroyed for months, you know? And then I've started realizing I actually don't really give a fuck. Yeah, you made me realize maybe sometimes I have to shut up more. You made, you know, in the end, you made me better. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about quality control.
And then stepping across like, oh, me hurt. No, learn something, dumbass. There's something to learn there. Even in someone saying you're a fucking asshole, there must be something that made them go, yeah, I feel attacked by what you're doing. So there's a lesson to learn there. Because the effect that I have on the planet or on the world around me is what gives me the feeling of being nice. And the feeling of being comfortable in my surroundings.
Right.
And if I want to be comfortable, then I have to cater to everyone. And there we go back to the mask. So is it a mask or not?
I don't know.
I think I'll leave that in the middle.
No, I think people that are people pleasers have gone through, you know, terrible things at a certain point in their life.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very hard to deprogram that. I don't know you well enough to sort of comment about you particularly. I'm just saying, in general, that seems to be the case. But like I said, I can only just underpin everything I've heard from you creatively and what I've heard other people say about you as it's been incredibly positive. So I'm really excited to.
Very happy.
You know, I'm really glad
that I'm starting to have that effect on my surroundings. That other people talk in that way about me because then the effect that I have is that people send positive vibes, send positive ideas, are being inspired. And that's an effect that I would love to have. And that's an effect that I'll have, if that's my mask, I'll happily wear that mask. If you want to call it, if you want to call it the mask.
No, I'm not calling it a mask.
I'm just saying in general, not saying it you, but if we want to call it a mask, then it's a really nice mask, bro.
This is my point. That's what I mean. I think if the intent isn't always the point, it's the effect of what has been said, right, at the end of the day. So, you know, if, like I said, like everything I've heard, everything creatively and personally I've heard about you has been incredibly positive, and it's been a lot of fun seeing you work in small spaces, large spaces, wherever.
There's coming a lot more, and we were talking about the studio and about that moment where you can lose yourself. That's the point where I'm getting more and more often, and it's getting easier and easier. And all those people that are waiting for a reply or send me tunes, I'm not going to record on your tunes. I'll just come into the studio and vibe with you.
Right, okay, yeah.
You know, and because that's the way I found out through trying all the other ways, trying to again. Oh, that's how you make music. Okay, that's how we're doing it, right? Okay, and it's like I don't like making music. And it's like, but I like making music. Let's find how I like making music, because that's what makes me being me, and not me sounding like Mac Miller or sounding like you know. I'm just saying it, but sounding like someone that you're not.
You
know, and finding that identity again is the way, and showing that struggle. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm not scared of showing that anymore. And also the way I speak now, like there's nothing really to hide. You said in the beginning, like, is there a thing you don't want to talk about? I don't talk bad about people. That's the only thing I try to avoid, because it only brings bad.
I know, I talk bad about people all the time.
No, but you know what I mean? And it's like...
I try not to now.
No, but we all have an opinion.
End of the day,
we all have an opinion, of course.
No, of course. And at the end of the day, you're always going to meet people that, you don't always necessarily.
Opinions are like penises, right? You don't show them to anybody. Just when you don't ask for them, you don't. You don't put them on the table when no one wants to see it.
I'm always putting my opinions on the table.
No,
well, but I say that I don't always put my opinions on, but it's something I'm working on. People don't always. I get asked enough for my opinion that I don't really need to give it without it being asked for. So I just don't anymore. I've stopped that. But anyway, it's not about me. But anyway, mate, I think that's enough, mate. I think that's been brilliant. That's been a really, really, really deep philosophical chat. I didn't expect to go there, man. It went some places.
If there's more, of course, to tell about the music, and we can always do another one.
What more did you want to say?
Discovering music again for me is like when you walk into the candy shop the second time and they got new candy that you didn't see before. And for me now, I'm in that point where it becomes to be attractive again after traumatizing by losing music, and me as a DJ and as an artist, as a vocalist. It's becoming into something that is easier and easier for me to make people forget what's going on outside, because the hardest thing to be these days is just be. It's just dance, just feel. And for me, my mission is not just to make music, but make life a little bit easier when you're in the dance, or when you listen to a jungle set, or listen to a liquid set, or listen to avant-garde, or listen to a neuro set. Doesn't matter, it's a feeling that you want to experience. And for me, it's becoming more and more about the feeling and about what we experience. Again, the outcome of what happens is what I'm trying to capture and envision, and that's, I think, my opus deo, and I never want it to be finished. I don't want this to finish. I don't want to stop learning ever. I don't want to, I never liked what I did. Well, maybe enough to continue.
There'll come a point where you'll be able to be satisfied with yourself.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah,
just not there yet.
I think. Like, of course, there's points where I'm like, okay, this is beautiful and it's connect. But again, that's a feeling. It's not my opinion thinking that I'm great or better than others. It's just like, that's nice, man. There's no point.
It's so weird.
Like, I only try to measure myself against my own actions now.
And actually, the other thing about that is that it's always really fucking obvious as well. It's like, that's the thing, it's like, when like, I've had situations where people who are, average to well-known, get really upset when like a super well-known person is like doing better or whatever, and it's like, well, like they're just that's just how it is. Like, dude, it's their mortality.
Jealousy is so ugly,
so weird,
man, and it's
so weird,
and it's so sticky. It sticks on everything and everyone.
Yeah. So, I admit to having periods of my life where I was like that, but
I was bitter.
Now,
I had periods of my life where I was super
I'm always
bitter.
happy for people.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I tell people, like, you know what? I love to see when my friends are doing good.
Yeah.
I love to. That's what I love to see the most.
Even people I don't know. Even people I don't know in the scene that I don't know, and I see they're just playing at some massive festival and you can see how happy they are, I'm like, that must be wicked. Like, I don't even sort of hate on it anyway, even if I hate every single tune. I'll be like, you know what, that must be bad to be able to do that. And that's what that's just how I leave it. I just sort of think of it in a positive light. I don't let it sort of like...
And that's it again, we had this conversation before we started the camera, and then we had a bit like, my point was, positivity is always the the approach, and sometimes the line between positivity and negativity, when opinions and jealousy and this all comes confuffled.
It can be, yeah.
Then communicating can be harder.
Well, it can be.
It's so simple. If you, like, I always also know, because it's a self-reflection, because in the conversation I started to really stand behind something that I really didn't really think about that much. And you have the same sometimes as well. You know, you're like, well, no, this is my opinion, and then it's like, oh, but half of it just also, because we were talking about it.
You know what? The Louis C.K. Do you know Louis C.K. the comedian?
Oh yeah.
He has a bit about how a 55-year-old garbage man will just know more than a 21-year-old graduate, just because he's been around long enough to make enough mistakes to kind of learn shit. I feel like that's where I'm at. So it's not like I stand behind something blindly.
It's not blindly.
No. But I hear what you're saying. But it's not like I'm just standing behind it for the sake of standing behind it because it's an opinion or it's a point of view. It's sort of like, okay, I've just seen this happen enough times, and I'm sort of going, so this must be the case.
Yeah. You're filling in the form.
Right.
You've seen the form many times.
But before we veer off into another plane of incredible philosophical existence, I think you should just tell the people where they can find you online.
Yes.
And where you're going to be playing next. In March.
We're going to be playing in Cheeky Monday, of course.
Cheeky Monday, 24th, yes.
24th.
Absolutely,
I will get jazzy with my man, Chris in Perspective.
Yes.
There's a lot of things happening. I'm playing in Toulouse. I'm playing for Blackout again. I'm playing at What the Fuck. I'm playing at Stuff. There's lots of things on the table.
Okay.
I am currently also working on some studio bits, building a bit of a studio. So there's lots of things on the table. Tunes coming out soon. You can find me, of course, under multiplex.music on most platforms, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Instagram. TikTok is dead to me. I do have an account. Like it, share everything that's there, make it blow up without me knowing, would be cool.
And if not, we'll put everything in the description, obviously.
There's some YouTube things you can find as well. I did some things with Knars. There's some videos out with Akoff. There's lots of stuff. Do some Google, and look for Multiplex or Multiplex MC if you want to see some old stuff. Come check out my jungle sets, my DJ sets. Come check me on the mic. I won't disappoint you. And if I do, come tell me, please.
Okay, ladies and gents, until the next one. Peace.